Thank you for staying. Now, it's been a chaotic morning for patrons of commercial vehicles, particularly in the national capital and parts of the country. The strike by the GPRTU is biting hard as passengers are left stranded at major lorry terminals and bus stops along major routes this morning. The drivers are protesting the high cost of fuel. They are demanding a reduction in the petroleum products prices, which have seen significant increases in the last couple of months. Let's start off with my colleague, Michael Papani Ashali, who has been to the Kwame Nkrumah circle through to the La Paz area. He joins us live with more. Papani, you've been out and about since 6 a.m. What have you observed so far? Has been in different parts of Accra and around La Paz, where we're hearing some people are even stopping, commercial drivers from picking passengers. Papani will be bringing us the latest on that development shortly. But as we know, the GPRTU as an umbrella body has, initiated the strike together with other unions, and they are not available for commercial road users or those who actually board these vehicles to use them this morning. It's resulted in quite a situation. Great, Papani, so good to have you on the line. I know you've been out and about, you've hit the La Paz area, among others. What can you tell us about the situation as far as this?
Israel, so where we are at the moment is the La Paz Trotro station, very close to the N1 highway, and I dare say that there are hundreds of people here who are stranded. For one reason, the Trotro drivers say they're on a sit-down strike. So at this particular, there are about four at this station. There are about four different Trotro stations, and every single one of them say that they are listening to what they have heard and they have seen that they're on a sit-down strike. So nobody is going to be allowed to allow passengers to board their vehicles. So I've been speaking to many of the people here, and they tell me that it's been very difficult for them. Many of them have decided to take the hard decision of going back home. Earlier, I was at the Seco Ordona station, and same situation there, except that over there, there's a split between people who want to work and others who think that what they have heard is not being confirmed, but they will still not work. So there's a confusion there as to what exactly is going to be the way forward. Do they work or they don't work? Half of them say they haven't heard from anybody. So they are going to proceed to work until there's a counter order from National Secretary or the local secretariat at the station here. So over there, the passengers were elated because the Trotro station is working. But here in La Paz, the situation is very different. Almost every single Trotro game is not working. And I said almost. And a few that have tried to board passengers onto their vehicles, there's a strong backlash from their counterparts, their colleagues, who have reached some extent forced the passengers to disembark from the vehicle. So it has been very difficult here for the passengers.
Right. Papani, quickly to clarify this one, is it just the Trotro drivers? I hear that there's been some violence where some people have had their vehicles, basically vandalized in a way, just in an attempt to prevent them from taking passengers. And just to clarify as well, does this also affect the ride-hailing services, those who are using Uber, Bolt, and the rest? Have you anything to report on those? But the video you're seeing currently is from the La Paz area, where you can see a lot of stranded people who, are awaiting vehicles to board. Those are scenes from the La Paz area. Papani, so I just wanted to clarify from you. I've heard that some people have
places
even employed
of destination. It's been hard biting for these unsuspecting passengers. They were hoping that by now they would have been at their various places that they wanted to go to, but that is not the situation. Many of the transport stations here have decided to stop every single one from boarding passengers, even for the few that dare to actually go contrary to the directive for them to go on a sit-down strike. They have been forced to disembark their passengers from their vehicles. So Israel, it's been very difficult here for the passengers. Earlier I was mentioning that I was at the Seco Ordona station, and the situation is quite different from here. The drivers there are confused as to which of the directives to go by. Early in the morning, they were told not to work, but later, just before 6 a.m., new fresh directives came through that, well, they should work because there's not official communication from their management to either go on a strike or to work. So they have decided to do what benefits them, which is to work. So at Circle, some of the drivers have decided to work. But here at La Paz, it's a single decision here. Not a single trotro is deciding to work here. And like I mentioned, a few of the drivers who have decided to go against this directive, they have been forced to disembark, even to the point where there was near chaos, near fisticuffs here between some of the station masters and some of the drivers who decided to be the ones to help out these passengers who wanted to go somewhere. I'll talk to some of the passengers. Some of them have decided to go home. This gentleman here, I've been with him here for close to an hour. He tells me he's been here for more than an hour already. Now I want to ask him, what's the decision he decided to take? Bossman, so right now, what's the decision that you're taking? Are you going home or are you going to wait for a car?
Yeah, as I said earlier, I have talked to my boss right now, so I have to go back home. So because there's no car going to my area, so I have to go back home. I have to walk. No, I have to walk home. For now, because I'm walking from here to Awush, because I don't know if I cross the road, I'm going to get car or not.
So let me ask you again, how long have you been here?
Almost 4 hours now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And in this 4 hours, what have the transport operators telling you?
They said there's no car going until they hear something from the government.
Wow,
there's no car moving.
So he is one of many people who are stranded here at La Paz right now at the transport station, where not a single car is being allowed to move. Just here coming in your shot, you see from some of the transports here, very empty, nobody is boarding and nobody be allowed to also board the vehicles. The only people that this seems to be benefiting are the taxis here, the private taxis here, who seem to be benefiting from the situation. What I gather is that they've decided to increase their fares because this is payday for them. More people who are not getting commercial vehicles will get private vehicles. Not just them, but some other people here. The online ride-hailing services are also cashing in on the situation. A lot more people have decided to go that way. They've been using their mobile phones to order a private car to get to their destination. That seems to be the only option that they have here in Israel.
Well, thank you very much, Papani, bringing us the details from the La Paz area there.